Good evening, race fans. I'm your host, Bobby. Joining me are my co hosts, Scott, Justin, and Robert. Welcome to episode 5 of Area 51 podcast. Tonight, we will be talking with Chad Harrington, owner of Matman Designs, and Jonathan Tig Willard, Jackman for Jeremy Clements Racing and Trackhouse Racing. How we doing, Tig? How you doing, everybody?
Doing pretty good. Ready to get it in, ready to get started.
So, Tig, first question for you would be tell us about yourself and how you got involved in NASCAR after your college and NFL career.
Oh man, that's like a good 2 hour story, but to shorten it up, I mean the way that I got into NASCAR is well, first of all, I never thought I would be in NASCAR. Never had any dreams or aspirations of being in NASCAR. I have a background of drag racing, and I always thought I'd be drag racing somewhere after football or whatnot. Love motorcycles, love cars, anything with an engine. Um, I've either tinkered on it or kind of messed with it a little bit. But the way that I kind of got into NASCAR is before that I was in law enforcement. Work with the Marion County Sheriff's Department, and just trying to figure out what I want to do with life and how to navigate going through life, and just reached out to the NASCAR racing experience and Mario Andretti Racing School to become a driver for them. And like I said, not really thinking much of it, just trying to uh, pursue life really into the sport. And like my first day of being there, like a guy had asked me, "Have I ever thought about being on a pit crew?" I was like, "No." I was like, "Why would I want to be on a pit crew?" Like I mean, I would like to drive the car. I don't want to be on a pit crew. And he was like, "Well, so a gas man on some teams makes six figures a year." And I was like, "Oh, I mean that's a pretty good reason to be on the pit crew." So after that, he got me a little bit of information on the NASCAR's diversity program, and I went there. And at the time, I was the only person in the program, so it was just me and Coach Phil Horton. We were just digging like twice a day, practicing to be a jack man because I went in there asking about gas man. They was like, nah, definitely jack man. So they grabbed me a jack, and like I said, me and Coach Phil Horton was shoot. We were practicing twice a day, just getting the basics and fundamentals. And man, after that, it's all history because my cousin knew someone that knew somebody that knew somebody else that knew the coach at Trackhouse, Coach Sean Pete, and they kind of told him about me and told I was coming through, and Coach Sean Pete called me up and asked me to come do a tryout for him, and I went and did a tryout, and boom, like they was like well, I'm not gonna say boom because I did the tryout and then I left and nobody said anything to me. Like nobody said come back tomorrow or you did a good job or anything. So I was like, well, I mean, I don't know anything about NASCAR or how these trials work. So um, nobody said anything. So I'm like, well, maybe I did terrible. Like I don't know. I don't have anything to compare it to. Like if it was football, I'd be like, okay, I did this number, I ran this 40, I benched this much. Like I can tell you like if I was good or not. But with me just coming into NASCAR, like I didn't know what good times were. I didn't know, what coaches actually look for whenever it comes to Jackman. And like I said, nobody told me anything. Like nobody told me to come back tomorrow, come back next week, or we'll reach out to you. So whenever I left, I was a little bit sad because, like I said, I didn't hear anything, and I didn't talk to nobody until probably like a month later. And they was like, "Hey man, where you been? Like we've been looking for you." I was like, "Well, ain't nobody called me, ain't nobody tell me nothing, ain't nobody did nothing." So then. I went back and started back practicing with him, and then ended up getting the contract. And I was with Trackhouse what 8 seasons now? Well, before it was Ganassi before. It was Ganassi, but now it's Trackhouse. So I was in that same building for 8 years.
Very cool.
I
Yeah.
love it. That's how we all met.
Pretty much. Just not knowing. Just not knowing.
Awesome, dude. So what's it's a Tig, obviously. Great to see you. It's been a few months since our Bush Light uh extravaganza where I missed my flight out of Charlotte. Hey, that was a
Yep.
really fun night. And we
Really
stopped
fun
over to
night.
see Jarek, and that was a good time. But anyway, man, so
Really fun night.
the business at hand, I've been told that we got to keep it on point tonight. Full slate and all. So for you as a crew member, right? What's a typical day look like for you guys? So let's say you've already landed, right? So the private jet's landed or the charter flight. And then once you hop off that, what's that day look like for you? Pre-race, race.
So we normally fly in the day of our first race. So let's just say typical weekends is normally two races. It's normally Xfinity and Cup. So those of us that do Xfinity and Cup, like we'll fly in during the first Xfinity race, and we probably get there probably like we probably fly in probably like 5 hours before the race. We want to be at the track for an Xfinity race. We want to be at the track 3 hours before the race. So sometimes we fly in or whatnot, and we go get a little food, or either we go check into the hotel, depending on how far everything is. Just so we make sure like we get at the track 3 hours before the race because the tires need 3 hours so that the lug nut glue will actually dry and be good to race. So we have to make sure we're there on time so that we don't, mess up pit stops or have the glue run off or lug nuts fall off or whatnot. Just so everything is pretty much perfect. Because that's our job to be perfect every time. But so we go there, get to the track 3 hours before the race. We find our tires. Sometimes because tires they be all over the track, so you got to kind of figure out like which stack is yours. So we find our tires. We get to cleaning them, make sure the holes are nice and they're not like walled out, or just make sure the tires are perfect. And clean everything up, glue everything. Um, Jackman and tire carriers will actually tape the tires so that Jackman or the tire carrier know exactly where to grab the tire at. Because if you actually look at the tire, pretty much there is spokes that go like for like to the rim, but there is only one spoke for the rim that lines up directly with the hole. So that's where I like to carry, which is called straight up, and then there's one that's called one back, which is the one back from that one. So some people like to carry one back, some people like to carry straight up. I'm more of a straight up person. I make sure my tires are taped straight up, and then after that, after my tires taped, tires are prepped, go out and get a little food. Some people eat 2, 3 times. I can't do it, but because I would actually feel heavy. But go get a little food, just relax. Then about an hour before the race is where I kind of start to zone in. Go ahead and get dressed, get changed up, come back out, and then it's go time. Then, so once I get changed and those shoes go on, it's definitely time to roll.
So one thing, again, to kind of circle around back on that one too. So one thing I didn't know, right, until I met you guys at that first Road America race.
Hmm.
As a I thought I was a pretty big NASCAR fan. I always just assumed Jeremy Clements, let's say, had his own pit crew. If I'm just watching from TV, I assumed watching that on TV that, you and Jarek and Danny going over the wall, that that was actually Jeremy Clements racing, but in reality, that's not always the case, right? So you guys are actually almost independent contractors on Saturday sometimes, right?
Yep. That is actually correct. But at the same time, whenever we put a Jeremy Clemens shirt on, like we belong to Jeremy Clemens Racing, like this is our team, this is our home. And like that's what we like to do. Like we like to work for, teams like that where it's a family owned team, and just being able to go in there and just feeling the love, just feeling wanted, that makes a total big difference in your pit crew. Whenever like you have a crew like Jeremy's crew with John and Dave and everybody that like wants you to come in and they know you're going to do the job well, and they're not going to, like beat you down if things happen that's, whenever we're not perfect. Uh, so just working for teams like that is just always amazing.
And if you do a good job, you walk away with a free bottle of Driftless Glen after the race.
Exactly. So
Is,
it's like a win-win.
is that the 51 rye that you got after Road America the first year?
Yep. Nope, nope,
It's-
that's not it. So the one,
no?
the one, the one that I got at the Road America, German actually signed it for me. So that one's sitting top shelf. So it ain't gonna be touched. Never. It'll never be touched.
I love it.
German signed it for me.
Good deal, Bobby. What you got, Bobby?
Tig, what year was it that you became a member of the Jeremy Clements pit crew, and how did that all come about?
Um, Man, so it was after the year where he won Road America. So that's what,
Wow.
2017.
2017, he won Road America.
okay, so we came in 2018, and the reason why I guess we kind of came on was the crew that he had before they were getting kind of older, so they were trying to retire. So we had already was dealing kind of with Jeremy Clemens, which at the time Jeremy Clemens had a guy by the name of Danny Baptista, and he was pretty much running the pit crew side, and he was hiring guys to come and do pit stops, and they would pretty much do the whole like pit stops wise. So we ended up talking to Danny, and we got our entire crew on. So Danny pretty much hired us to do the whole pit stops for him, and then it's kind of funny because like say we get there like all of us like are like young and like they're used to having like older guys, veterans or whatnot. So like all of us are like young. Like I want to say it's like my second or third year in, and like pretty much my whole team, like all of us are like second year guys, second year, third year guys and whatnot. And we go and like you can see it on like everybody's face because like we're new, so they don't know like what to expect. Like we're all new to each other, and we like yeah, like we pretty much asking them, can we get like pit support wise, like can you get somebody to set the tire for the jacket man? Can somebody set the tire or either catch tires in the front? And at the time, we were also doing 6-man pit stops. So the choreography was a little bit different. And I remember like after the first pit stop, like say we look back behind the wall and like you can see like Tony had like the biggest smile on his face because like pretty much we had just picked up like 3 or 4 spots. And he was like, "Oh my God! Like you guys are actually pretty good, cause like nobody really knew us." So like Tony had like the biggest smile on his face, like he was man, it was like gold. And like Jeremy came like over the radio, and he's like, "Great stop, guys! Like you guys are awesome! Like great stop!" And like I said, and like ever since then, like whenever like we go to the track and whatnot, like those guys know exactly what to expect out of us.
So Tig, are you the Jackman then on Jeremy's pit crew?
I'm not sure about this year. As far as what's going to happen, contracts and everything always change from year to year. Um, like for instance, right now, I might be going to, well, I'll be going to a different team. With that's not Trackhouse, so I'll be going to a different team. Um, so yeah, like, but still, like, I'm not sure if Trackhouse is doing Jeremy's car this year. I'm not sure as far as where they're going to go. I know they have, sure, I guess Jeremy has some new things coming into play with his car and engines and uh different, I guess, sponsorships and whatnot. So all that stuff plays into part as far as, who he wants to pit his car and all kind of stuff. So I'm just not I'm not really sure. Like we probably won't really find out till about another 2 or 3 weeks as far as, who has what deals and, you know, or whatnot. So you just never know until almost race time. But I hope so.
So you have no update on the 2024 season so far.
Nah, because nobody, well, I'm not gonna say nobody. Like people are practicing right now. But the teams that I've communicated with, they don't start practicing until I think the 17th. 17th. So, but I talked to a few people yesterday, and yeah, that's what we were kind of like discussing everything, and they were saying like, yeah, like they pretty much won't know word until after the 17th. So just sitting tight, still working out, just staying best shape possible, doing pretty much everything that I can do mentally and physically to be ready to roll.
So since we can't talk about your 24 plans, then you just brought up your workout regimen. Walk us through how hard that is, because obviously you have like when you were in the NFL, you had a certain regimen you had. Is it close to what it is for NASCAR or totally different? Or if you can't explain that for us.
Um, well, kind of everybody has like a different regimen or whatnot, but mine's is totally different from whenever I was playing in the NFL or playing at a Clemson or whatnot. And the reason being is like I've been lifting weights and going hard since I was 12, 13 years old. And at the time, like the reason why I was lifting weights then is because I was trying to keep people off of me. Like I was trying to keep 300-pound offensive linemen off me. Like, oh, I had to have arms. I had to have, all these muscles that I didn't really know about just to keep people off of me. But now it's more like maintenance and maintaining. So for instance, I do a good bit of yoga just to stay limber and keep the muscles, relaxed and just learning how to control the body. Um, and like I still lift heavy, but my lifting heavy now is like just say I'm squatting. Like it'd be 315 for like 5 to 8 reps. Where back in the days, like I'm putting 500 on the bar and I'm trying to lift that, you know. So it's a little bit different type of lifting. And now it's more of muscle endurance instead of like building muscle strength. Um, I think I'm pretty much strong enough to run around a car with 25-pound jack, but and then lift us with I think the cup tires are 60 pounds and Xfinity double double tires are what they are close to 70 pounds. So yeah, I think I can manage that.
Yeah, the way you pick me up when you give me a hug every time I see you. I don't think you've got any problems. You don't have any problems there. You're good. You're building yourself for speed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
It-
now everything I do now is more about speed. It's not power anymore. Like it's not shooting hands and trying to dominate another person. From me wrestling and football, like it's not that type of a workout anymore. It's more of a mental and mental and maintenance.
That's awesome.
All right, Tig. I'm gonna take you back a little bit.
Uh-oh. I'm nervous.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So we talked about this last time you and we seen each other. Kind of went back in the 2013
Okay.
when you're on your way to training camp for the Titans.
Okay.
The lady with the family that you helped take care of stuff for her.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
You've been very humble about yourself, but from what I understand, this lady has in the news report called you a hero. Do you believe her assessment of that? Tell us, well, first, tell us about what happened and answer that question as well.
Okay. Um, so you said 2013. On my way to training camp. Actually, I went to training camp a day early. Just so I can kind of get there and relax and be ready. Because I mean, this is my first training camp. Like I want to make the team. Like I want to be focused. I got a playbook to learn. Then I also know I'm learning three positions, so I wanted to get there early, kind of get a head start on things, and so I leave Myrtle Beach with Loris, South Carolina. I leave there. I'm driving up I-40, going to Nashville, Tennessee. And whenever I'm driving, like it's me and another car beside me, and then there's an 18 wheeler in front of us, and then there's also an 18 wheeler behind us. I believe, and we're just driving. Um, and I'm listening to music. I got an 8 hour drive, so I'm listening to music. I'm just relaxing, and we're going up and down hills, and the car in front of me just starts smoking. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going up and down hills, like we're good. Like, the car is just struggling a little bit. So probably like 2, 3 miles later, like two big fireballs come from under the car. And I'm like, well, okay, the smoke might be okay, but that's not normal. Like, pretty sure something is up. So then after the fireballs come out, like there's a steady flame that's now starting to come from under the car. And I'm like, all right. So they obviously, they see it because like the smoke is like it's like a big black smoke just coming up. And I was like, okay, maybe they see it and they about to pull over, and they never pulled over. So I'm like, okay, well, this can't be good. So then I speed up to get beside them, and I'm blowing the horn, bum bum, trying to get her pull over, and she like looks at me and she's driving, and I'm like, I need you to pull over, like your car's on fire. And like finally, like she, you know, pulls over to, I guess, to figure out like what am I talking about. Like I'm pointing and all kinds of stuff. And like I said, finally she pulls over. So then I run to the car because I mean the car's on fire, so I want to help out as much as possible. So I run to the car and I'm like, hey ma'am, your car's on fire. Uh like can I like you need to get out of the car. And like whenever I ran to the car, like I could see like the kids in the back seat, and I'm like, oh man, like it's kids in the back seat. Like we got to get everybody out of the car, and snatched open the door, and like they like so pretty much all the kids were, I want to say they were 7 and under. Um, and reached in, grabbed the kid there, and there was another guy that actually pulled over with me, a guy by the name of Clint. Um, he and I started, reaching in, grabbing kids, taking them off out of like seat belts or whatnot. One of them was in a car seat, so me not having any kids, like I didn't really understand like how to unbuckle a car seat. So I ended up, you know, getting it unbuckled and yanking out the whole entire car seat or whatnot, and just trying pretty much just trying to get everybody to safety, and then got them like the kids out or whatnot, and then heard there was a dog in the car, so had to end up going back to the car, and the dog was in the back, so ended up getting the dog out, and then the lady had like her purse and stuff like say was like in like the very back of the car, and there was a defining moment for me um whenever I was in the car, because what happened was I'm in the car and I'm getting kids out, and like a tire popped because so like I look up, and like the flame is coming like through like the air vents, so the flame is coming through the air vents, and I'm in the back of the car, and like I'm watching cars pass me, and I'm like, man, like nobody ain't gonna, help us. And like as I said that in my head, the tire popped, and I'm like, shoot, I'm dead. And I'm like, nah, I'm still good. Like, let's
Get
hurry
the
up
dog.
and get out
Get
of
the
here.
dog.
Yeah.
Get the dog.
So I'm like, let's hurry
Get the
up
dachshund.
and get out of here. So got everything out and we got everybody out, got a purse. So she didn't lose like a purse or her license and whatnot. And man, the car was charred. It looked it looked crazy. Like it was burnt from the front to the back. Like it was pretty much nothing left of that car. And like I didn't really realize like how much like adrenaline I was going through until I was well, I got, make sure everybody was okay, make sure she had a ride, like make sure everything was good. And I got back in the car and continued my way to training camp, and like my hands and everything were just shaking. And I was like, man, like I literally almost died just now. Like like I called the reason why the whole like story got out is because I called my mom and I was like, Mom, like I literally just helped a person out of a burning car. And I was like, I don't like it was crazy. And I kind of explained the story to her, and then I posted it on Facebook, like just help somebody out of a burning car. And then that's when Tiger Illustrated, which is Clemson's newspaper, like they called me. It's like, yeah, like what's going on with this burning car deal? And I was like, so I pretty much told him the story, well, told them the story, and then that's when I guess everything kind of got out. But I wasn't expecting any stories or anything on it. It was just I was so such in shock. Like I said, my hands and everything was shaking. I was just trying to go to training camp. Like I was just trying to stay focused and be my best at training camp. And happened. I mean, like I always say, things always happen in the right place. So I'm just glad that I was around to help out.
Have
Hell yeah.
you have you kept in contact with the lady? Have you seen her since?
Yeah, well, I haven't really kept in contact. I do have the other guy who stopped. His name was Clint. Um, I do have his contact info, but I haven't really talked to anybody or reached out or anything. Um, I talked to the lady probably like a year after that. But like I said, I didn't expect any type of praise or anything, so I didn't, exchange any uh contact information or anything. I just went along my way.
Just
And
another
like I
day.
and like I didn't even tell them that, I was going to training camp or whatnot. Like uh they kind of figured they found out whenever, like, I guess Tiger Illustrated reached out, and then Good Morning America reached out, and then kind of everybody reached out. Then they reached out to her, and she was like, she like I said, she didn't know I was a Titan at the time. And she, like I said, I'm just a normal person, just trying to do good in the world.
Well, you sure did, man.
That's it. Just trying to make my moms proud, moms and dad, just trying to make them proud of me. That's all.
So Tig, last summer for the inaugural NASCAR Cup Series Chicago Street Race, you're a member of the Trackhouse team, number 91 car team. The car was driven by Shane Van Gisbergen, and it was his first Cup start, and he ended up winning that race, getting his first NASCAR Cup win. Describe what that experience was like for you as a crew member, and what was your role on the team that day?
Oh man, that was a crazy day. For one, it rained like crazy, so we wasn't even sure if like we were gonna race or not. Like for instance, it was raining so bad and there was so much water that we started that pretty much we started building like boats, boats, and just seeing like say where could float. Like for instance, we had a tire floating down, floating down. We had like boats, and we took like Gatorade bottles and cut them open and made boats with them just to see if they'll float away. Like pretty much who boat could float the furthest. Like we didn't even think we were gonna race that day because it was like I said, it was so much rain and water. Um, but at the same time, we still stayed focused and was very optimistic about everything. And we ended up racing. And for that day, my role was Jackman. So I was the Jackman on that deal, and it was a crazy day. Like we didn't dominate the whole race, but we were racing the whole race. And as a crew member, as a Jackman, like say you want to be in it. Like you always want to be in the mix. And those are the best days whenever you're competing for, first or second or anywhere in the top 10. Like like we love those days whenever like we come down pit road and we're in the top 10 because we get to compete and you either gain spots or you lose spots or you maintain. And we love to have that adrenaline feeling. Well, at least I do. I love to have that adrenaline feeling and feel like I put the team on my back. Um, but we had really good stops. Everything was smooth. And for that race, we did backward stops because you come into pit road on the opposite end, so you come from our left to right instead of from our right to left. So our choreography is a little bit different. So pretty much, I think we have two, maybe three tracks where we do backward stops at. So pretty much the main thing for that race was just to be smooth. Like don't mess anything up. Like just be smooth. Like and pretty much if you were smooth, you were going to have a good day in the pits. And so we were really really smooth that day. And like I said, and my crew was a bunch of people that they they were on other cars and like myself, like for instance, I was on the 31 car at the beginning of the season and got removed from the 31 car to the 91 car, which only ran what 2 3 races. So just not knowing what to expect from Shane either, from him coming from Australia to come here to race. Like I mean, we knew he was a great driver, but we didn't know how he would compare to the other NASCAR drivers that had actually been in a NASCAR that drive on the left side of the car every day, where Shane drives on the right side of the car. So, but there's a lot of factors that help with the new car because now you got sequential shifting. So that helps a little bit, but it's still awkward because now you're shifting with your left hand instead of your right hand. So it's well, or with your yeah, no, with your right hand instead of your left hand. Um, so that was a crazy day, and like all through that race, like so I have a teammate by the name of Kenyatta Houston, Cap Houston. I'm pretty sure most people probably heard of him.
Great
But
dude. Great
yeah, good
dude.
dude. Yeah,
Great
good dude.
dude. Nicest guy. Nicest guy.
But he has been in NASCAR. I think
Forever.
this may be his 20th season. Um, but he's never had a cup win. And I used to always tell him like, I'm gonna get you a cup win. Like, shit, we gonna win the. And whenever Shane, took, well, first of all, we were in like fourth, and they took the race and called it shorter. So they took laps off the race. So we had to pit earlier than what we actually wanted to. And by us having to pit, a couple other cars came down with us, but we lost all of our track positions. So now we went from fifth to, I think, went to like 18th. And it's only like maybe 20, 25 laps left. So we're like, oh man, like, like, we was in it, but now it's gonna be tough. Like, I don't know if we can shake anything out. So then Shane starts to driving, and like on the radio, he having a blast. Like he's literally like having a blast, and we're stressing because we're like, well, we're not stressing, but we're upset because we had to go to the back because NASCAR called the race a little earlier. So we're like, man, like this is messed up. Like I don't know what to do. Like we were so close. We was in it, and like as like we're saying that, like Shane comes on radio, he was like, man, like this is the most fun I've had in a race car in a long time. He's like, guys, we are good. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, so then we went from 18th to 16th, and then a caution came out, and then instead of us, I think we passed like maybe like 4 or 5 cars on the caution, but then they made us go back to the back and put those cars back in front of us for some reason, like we don't know. And so now once again we're upset because we like, man, we just got up to 10th and now we got to go back to 16th. Like, what's going on? So then once again, Shane's like, this is the most fun he's had. So so now we're like, all right, well, he's having fun. Like we should have fun too. So then he goes from 16th in one lap. He gets down to like 13th, 11th. Then he's down to like 10th, and it's like maybe like 20 laps left. And then he's down to like, oh no, he might got down like 8th, and then it's like maybe 10 laps left, and then we get like a caution, and then we bunch back up, which helps us out, whenever like we bunch back up and then we got to go again. So we bunch back up and we going again, and I want to say we get to third, and it's Chase Elliott and Justin Haley in front of us, and we're like, okay, like be careful because these guys they actually need wins, so they might be a little aggressive with you. And he's like, okay, like it's okay, I got him. I'm like, oh, okay, well, hey, okay. Like, I mean, do he know Chase Elliott is a road course warrior? Like, I mean, like okay, like what's going on? And Chase is blocking us and he's blocking us, and he's blocking us and like laps are going down, and we're like, man, like this is gonna be close. So then we pass him, and then we get up to Justin Haley and we pass him. It's pretty much like as soon as like we pass him, caution comes out, and we're like, oh my God, like we had the race won, like oh, we were this close. It was like, all right, just be careful because once again, these guys need the wins. And the scariest thing happened at that moment. He comes he comes over the radio and he says something's wrong with the engine. And everybody face says, oh, oh, like you can hear like the panic in everybody. Like everybody's moaning and groaning, like what's going on? Like, okay, what could it be? And like our engineer and crew chief, they're like, okay, just calm down. Okay, tell me like what's going on. And they're talking to him like, okay, so what's the fuel pressure? What is this pressure? Like what's the temps? What's your oil temps? And they're like, everything seems fine. Like I don't know what's going on. So then they happen to look at the uh the data, and turns out he is pressing the gas and the brake at the same time. So so he was actually trail braking the whole time he was racing. So that caused like the car to not go as fast as it should. So they told him that, and then once it was green flag, like he shot off, and that was, man, that's probably one of my most memorable moments, just because, like, for one, I had my brother, my teammate Cap Houston with me, and I mean, I told him like I was gonna get him a win, like I always wanted to see him get a win, and it happened, and I just so happened to be there with him, and that's one of my most proudful moments ever in racing.
Was that your first career win as a pit crew member?
Yes, yep, that's my first. Well, that's my first cup win, um, which is that's what you want. Cup wins. Is that's like, of course, like the highest level. That's like win the Super Bowl. For me. And cup wins are hard to come by. I mean, winning in general is hard to come by from any series, from Truck, Xfinity, or Cup. Like if you win a race, like every everything doesn't have to go right, but everything was in the right place at the right time, and that's hard and rare.
That is hard and rare. Not many people get to do that, right, Tig?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
God.
That's
So when
right.
Tig's not running around stock cars and hanging out with all the pretty ladies, I'm just kidding. I know you have amazing woman at home. We all say hi. We all
Yeah,
know
exactly.
it's you said you do yoga, but let's be real. It's good for you. I feel like she has something to do with that. But so when you're not at the track, when you're not working out, when you're not doing that, assuming we all know you're a big fisherman. Anything else? Sports cars, things like that.
Oh man, I have a ton of hobbies, but I had to cut out a bunch of hobbies because I had too many hobbies and I was spending too much money. Um, but I can tell you all my hobbies. For one, uh, building guns. I love my guns. I love my ARs and stuff like that. I love to build them, customize them, from colors to different triggers to different parts on the inside. I love doing all that stuff. I love gun ranges, just shooting long distance, short stuff. I was actually supposed to do I did my first shooting competition a couple years ago, but I want to do another one sometime soon. Um, so that's one hobby. Another hobby is bowling. As you've
Oh
seen me
yeah,
bowl.
oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
Bowl.
just go to Kannapolis Boulevard I roll in there and Tig's got a Clemson. He has his own jersey.
Yeah.
We,
Hey, you gotta have them jerseys.
he was like, Sharpie, come meet me at the bowling alley. We can hang out. I'm like, cool. I walk in, this dude's decked out in a Clemson Tigers freaking bowling jersey. I was like, I just thought you meant you were bowling. I didn't know you were semi-professional at bowling.
Nah, so right now I currently have a 200 average in my bowling league. So I'm pretty decent. I'm trying to work up to a 220 average, and if I can do that, I can I can kind of classify as professional. So I'm trying to work to get 20 more pins somewhere or another. But it's tough. Um, so that's one of my goals. Obviously, of course, is bowling and like I say, fishing. Just brought a boat a couple months ago, and I got a truck to pull it. And yeah, I love fishing. I love going out fishing. Took my brother out with me, and he and I caught a bunch of crappie and bass, and like right now I'm trying to figure out a way to catfish on my bass boat, and I'm trying to see how I can build a rig or something other. I'm try, I'm trying to figure it out. But once I figure that out, then I'm also gonna be catfishing on the bass boat. So yeah, I have a ton of hobbies, and I'm actually probably missing something. Oh yeah, gaming. I also game. Me and Jarek and Evan, all of us game together in Cap. Cap Houston. Like matter of fact, we was gaming earlier today, playing Call of Duty. So um we game as well. So which I spent a bunch of money on my gaming PC. So yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that. But yeah.
Uh,
So like I say, I had to cut out some hobbies because it seems like all my hobbies are expensive as well as racing. I have a Roush Stage 3 Mustang that I race in SCCA events. I'll do more like time trail type events or whatnot. Obviously I I don't want to race my Roush Mustang side by side with somebody else because I don't want to wreck my car, like that's my car, so I don't want to damage my car. So time trail events, hill climbs, all that kind of stuff is really good for me. Actually doing some autocross stuff in my car, and just having fun. I actually got some of my teammates into it too. Jared go to a bunch of events with me, and he's now putting his car in events with me and whatnot. So, like I said, it's just building a community. Like I said, we go to Cars and Coffee and whatnot. Just hang out with other car like people, and like I said, we love cars. Love cars, love my guns, love bowling, love gaming. And I definitely love fishing.
Does Jarek still have the Ring camera of us dropping the bottle off in his front porch? If so, we should have started the episode with that.
I know, right? So he sent it to me too. So I got the
Yeah.
video.
Yeah, we should, Bobby, we should have started the entire thing off with me dropping a bottle of Driftless Glen off on Jarek's porch at 2 in the morning.
Exactly at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, telling him he should have came out with, well, should have just hung out a block away with us. We didn't go out anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
It was like a Wednesday in North Carolina. I don't know. I missed my flight.
But thing is, for Jared to be so young, I think Jared's 28, 29. Like he goes to bed so early. He goes to bed early. Like I bet he's definitely in bed right now. I bet he in bed. And they got all the lights off.
Well, Jarek's pretty popular, right? So I mean, he's on. You watch any track house, social media blitz, and there he is. He's got a cowboy hat on. He's jumping over the wall. He's looking pretty. It's okay. We'll admit he's the best looking of the group. He is a handsome devil.
Oh my God, yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. And he lives a couple houses down from me, so I always see him. I always see him.
So Tig, you kind of answered my question that I had about which was harder for you to transition to football or to NASCAR earlier in the show. But I have a question. But here's a question I want to ask you.
Okay.
You do all the pit stops for Xfinity and for the Cup cars, right?
Right.
Have you ever gone to a Saturday night when there's no racing and help one of the local guys pit her car?
Nah, never.
Well, you got the invitation.
All right, that works. And that works. Yeah, that works. Um, and like right now, like 'cause I guess some of the teams that I'm talking to now, they just looking for I guess Sunday on because with with it being with the Cup cars being one lug, like they don't want their main guys hitting five lug nuts because it can kind of yeah, rhythm and everything kind of gets thrown off. But if you're doing one thing all the time, then you kind of so yeah. With long story being short, I might have some little bit of Saturday time now. I might have to come up there. Where you at? You in
I'm
Spartanburg
an
area?
hour and 15 minutes from Pocono.
Oh no, you far now. Oh no, I'm at the sea. I'm at the sea. Yeah, I'm at the sea. Which I might can actually come up there though. Come up there early during the Pocono race and whatnot.
And that's with race traffic. An hour and 15 minutes was sitting in traffic off of 80.
Ooh. Okay, that's not bad. No, that's not bad. No,
No,
that's not bad.
I can make it without traffic in 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, she might gotta work something out. Cause she, I definitely come. Like I said, I love all forms of racing. So,
Well,
uh,
the
I'm
invitation is even open for you just to come and hang out.
perfect. I like that. I like that.
Swear to God, if you go up there before you come to Wisconsin, bro, dude, we're gonna have a conversation. And the gift packages will stop being sent. And then you will no longer make it on my living room wall.
Oh man.
So
The wall of fame.
so Tig made it. Tig sits in the living room. That we make a canvas print for every race we go to. And we got Uncle Raymond, we got Tig, and then Jeremy.
Yep.
And if you go up there,
I'm
before you
going.
come
I'm
down-
going. I just don't know. I just don't know what's gonna happen first.
Yeah,
I
it
have
better be.
I
It
haven't
better,
even looked at the race schedule
I
because
don't care.
because I can if we're racing up there in Wisconsin too, if I'm just doing Sundays only, then sure, I'll go up a day early and
No.
hang out.
Bad news, Tig. Bad news. We've talked about it a number of times on the show already. We're not coming back to Wisconsin. My life is
Yeah,
over.
that's true. Yeah,
But
that
but
is
I'm a
true.
2 hour flight. I'm a 2 hour
Man,
nonstop flight from Charlotte to Madison. Okay. I live 5 minutes from the airport. It's super simple.
well, thing is, I would come in the off season, but y'all be having too much snow up there. I be cold. I
I
be
have no
cold.
idea what you're talking about. You're talking like we just got 8 inches today.
See, that's way too much. Way too much. The coldest I've been in is whenever we played in Denver, and it was like 4 degrees, and I was like, I'm done. Like, uh, I couldn't do it. Like I didn't want to hit anybody. I didn't want to touch anybody. Like,
Rob and I are laughing right now. We're
Yeah,
like, oh my God,
4 degrees.
life is over.
We're
What
wearing
do we
t-shirts
do?
and shorts then.
But whenever I played in the CFL in Canada, I was in Saskatchewan, uh, and it gets down to -30. But by the time it hit cold, I was gone. I see y'all later. I was happy to go because it,
You s-
it it started getting like 20 degrees, 14 degrees. I'm like, oh yeah, it's time me to leave. And once that season was over, I was out of there. And the day I left was the day it started snowing. So I was happy.
Yeah. Dude, I don't want you to come up in the freaking winter, man. It sucks here.
Now I can come in. Nah, see, but thing is, if I come in I guess your summertime, we get to go on the boat. We do some
Yeah.
fishing.
So just come on a Tuesday or a Monday or like fly in on
Dude,
Sunday. I don't care. I'll
Well,
take time off.
what's he complaining about? He's off for a whole month
uh,
during the Olympics.
yeah, that see that hey, it could.
So
Ah,
you so
See
so
that?
look, you go to Pennsylvania, then you come to Ohio, then you go to Wisconsin, or go to Wisconsin, Ohio, then Pennsylvania. You see all of us.
You know what? You know
Well,
what, Justin? What we could do is do a live show at Driftless Glen with Tig if he came
yeah.
to
uh,
Wisconsin.
yeah. See,
Yeah.
That could go off the rails then.
Well, that might be an interesting episode. I don't know.
That'd be a
Hey,
Saturday night special.
we might accidentally get kicked off all platforms after that. We're like, well,
That'd
that
be a
was
Saturday
fun.
night special. That wouldn't be what we're doing now.
It was our last
Oh my
event.
gosh.
But
So Tig, my last question for you is, what has it been like working with Justin Marks and Pitbull at Trackhouse?
Oh man, it has been amazing. Just like say the way that like they handle business. I mean, Justin's he's always in the building. So just having your main boss like in the building and around, and him like seeing like the hard work that like everybody's putting in to produce the caliber of cars that like we're actually putting out is like amazing because he sees all of the hard work, and it's not like he's just showing up to the track on Sunday and just watching it. Like he actually goes down, and like if anybody has a problem, or if we're trying to figure out stuff, even like for like say pit crew wise, like he goes out there, like whenever it's cold outside or it's hot outside, like he'll actually walk out there and watch us do pit stop whenever it's bad weather or good weather or whatnot, and he'll watch us do pit stops, and like we'll like explain to him like what's going on, like okay, like this happened on this stop, um and this is how we're going to try to correct it, or this is why this was better than how we've been doing it. And like by him gaining that knowledge, like it's made him a better boss because he's now able to relate to what we're trying to actually put out. And obviously, him being a driver, like he can understand Ross and Daniel more than he can understand us on the pit side. But by him trying to understand us and what we do, like that has built so much like camaraderie in the team, and like we appreciate going to work and battling with him day in and day out. And Pitbull wise, I mean, we don't really see him too much because he's Mr. Worldwide. Like he's out and about, so he's always on tour or whatnot. But every time we're close to him or he's close to us, like he's always there. And the energy he brings is crazy. Like if you've seen, I guess, some of like the videos of us and interacting with him, like he is he is him. Like he is him all the time. Like he is always up here. Like his energy is always high level and like before races, whenever he pumps up the team, like you actually have to tell yourself, okay, like I'm a little bit too pumped up. Like let me calm down a little bit before I get too amped up and jump off the wall and do something crazy. But his energy and like what he brings to the team is amazing. It's amazing, and like it's good to have a person of his caliber, running the whole like team and organization with Justin.
I tried to pull the video of, I believe it's when Daniel won, and he threw the taco pinata, and all the
Pinata?
people went flying. I tried to do it so
Yes.
we could pull it up, but we couldn't get it to work.
So wait, so Tig, you're saying that Pitbull's pregame speech was better than my pregame speech that you guys let me give?
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a
Well,
tough one.
Road America was tough. Dropped too many F-bombs in front of people praying. Team Penske was probably real thrilled.
Nah, that's
And
not
then,
easy.
but then, hey, we brought the Thunder for Martinsville when Jeremy got that top 10.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a better
Yeah.
plan then. However, I've noticed since then you haven't let me do it again. So it is what
Well,
it is.
well, hopefully this year you get to do it again.
Yeah, that might
She'll
be-
break everybody down.
that might be
She
tricky
might
then.
get Beth to do it. She might
Yeah.
get a better fit.
I told Beth she had to come on quick and say hi to you. She's like, I'm not doing
Nah,
it. She said
it's
hi.
okay. It's okay.
Actually, I'll admit her exact words were, I go, do you want to come on and say hi to Tig? She goes, I can say hi to Tig whenever I want. I go, what? I go, what? You texted him? You DM'd Tig? Something I don't know about?
She know that's my girl. No, that's my girl.
I know.
That's my girl. That's my girl right there. Love her to death.
Yeah.
Love her to death. It's all good vibes, good family. Just like this whole, 51 team, like everybody's family. Like everybody has a great vibe, great attitude. And like I said, these are the type of people that, I want to be around. So, that's one reason why I'm here, because
Yeah.
everybody has great vibes. Everybody is who they say they are. One.
And I can't stress it enough again as a fan, then stepping into a limited sponsor situation, but being behind the scenes and how impressed we were with yourself, Evan, Danny, Jarek, right? You guys, the way you conduct yourselves and the way that you guys handle your business, but on the flip side, you're busy and you're focused, but the fact that you take time to step away, one of the main reasons, I'm even sitting here with that rear end behind me is make no mistake, a big piece is not just, yes, Jeremy Clements is awesome and his team is awesome, his core, right, from Jeremy Clements Racing, but how welcoming you guys were as his pit crew. And I fully understand you don't necessarily have to be, right? But I'll never forget that first summer when you guys took the time to chat with us and talk to us. We thought that was so freaking cool. Then we go to Martinsville and we go, they're not going to remember us at all. And Evan sees us from 100 yards away and comes barreling over and gives Beth a hug. And we're like, crap, they remembered us. Good deal. So again, man, a lot of
and like I said,
appreciation.
just saying like a lot of like crews they don't really understand as far as like, how much they can help a team out. For instance, Germany is a family owned team, uh, limited everything, but just trying to like I said, at the time they were trying to find sponsors, like trying to get as much help as possible. And we could have been terrible crew that, didn't pay anybody any attention, like just went, did their
Yeah.
job,
Did your
and
job.
you got
Did your
paid
job.
and go home.
Yep.
But the way that our team is structured, um, we're all good people. So like we want to, give the best experience, to the sponsors who actually make racing. Like without sponsorships and without sponsors, like there is no racing. Because people can't afford it. I mean, just saying Trackhouse, I mean, I don't know how much they spend, but roughly it's around 500,000 per a weekend easily. So without sponsorships, like there's no trucks going back and forth to the track. I mean, what last year we went from California to Daytona to Fontana, like there is none of that because gas is expensive. Trust me, shot filled up today, and I got a diesel truck, and I wasn't pretty happy. So I can only imagine the amount of fuel that goes into those haulers going up and down the road carrying all that weight. I'm pretty sure they spend a lot of money in just in fuel alone.
And Bobby,
So
I know we're getting short on time, but my one last quick thing back to your customer service piece there, Tig, is so that first year you guys were really nice to us, talked our ears off the entire freaking race. We loved it. And then we show up on Sunday. And Beth and I walk up to you guys and I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, we're best friends, right? Nope, game day. Like,
oh no, we're still best friends.
no, we were still best friends, but I learned really fast that now you were there to do your job and it's game day. And like you said hi, but there was very little bullshitting going on Sunday. Like, you're like,
Yeah.
man, focus. It's time to get down to it. This is what we get paid to do. We hung out with you yesterday. Thanks for the free bottle of Triple Glen, Jeremy, which, by the way, you guys hung out. I don't think you've ever hung out outside a hauler that long after an Xfinity race for nothing. And you guys all hung out.
Everybody waited.
I go, why are you guys still around here? And I'm still trying to pimp you guys for VIP passes for the Cup Series. And they're like, well, wait, we're hoping Jeremy gives us a bottle before we leave. But anyway.
Yeah, that was
Sorry,
a good
Bobby.
time.
Sorry for going off script.
No, you're good, man. Tig, we appreciate you having you on. Good luck this upcoming year, and obviously we'll have you back on once the season starts, so you can fill us in on how things are going.
Yeah, that works. That works, and I appreciate you all having me on. It's been a blast. Have fun as always. Just like talking to a bunch of my brothers. So, I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Tig, man. Love you, brother.
Oh yeah, love you.
I'll text you later.
All right, that works. Love you.
I'll
Love
be-
you.
I'll-
Y'all be good.
I'll be in your neck of the woods at the end of January.
All right, for sure. I'll be here.
All right.
Oh, and my birthday tomorrow too. So y'all go ahead and
Oh,
wish
happy
me
birthday.
Hey!
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, Tig.
yeah. All right.
Thanks. All right, brother.
Take care.
That was Tig. I want to take a hot second here to let everybody know that Jeremy and Courtney had their baby. So I want to say congratulations to them.
Woo!
The first one of many. Just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, would you
Yeah,
have
but-
more than one? Like, how old's Jeremy? I'm just trying to do the math. I'm kidless at 40. I don't know if I'd have more than one.
No, maybe two.
But we all know the drill. That is not Jeremy's call.
No, so now the upcoming season's coming up. Jeremy's gonna have to have a baby. It's gonna change a few things. He's not gonna get as much sleep, for sure. Fishing trips maybe cutting short.
Oh,
So
Or none at
Jeremy,
all.
we wish you the best, man.
yeah, dude. Congratulations, Jeremy Clements.
And
Yep.
Courtney.
Congratulations, Courtney and Jeremy.
And
Man,
now,
congratulations, Jeremy and Courtney. You guys, sleepless nights coming your way for a while.
just keep the Xfinity team running for another 21 years and
17.
17.
Yep.
I don't know what the age is. Beats the heck out of me.
They can run all but
Super
Daytona and
speedways.
Talladega at 17.
Yeah.
Jesus. To be 17 again, you know? I mean, oh, that'd be wild. I mean, I was good at go-karts, I guess, you know, at the Wisconsin Dells, you know, go-kart tracks, but they were going 5 miles an hour. So
Bring Chad in here from Matman Designs.
switching from TIG to get Matt Manch.
Yeah,
Oh wait, so I'm confused. So his name's Chad, but
It's
it's like
Chad,
Chad the
yeah.
Matt Man.
yeah.
Okay.
Chad, you got us?
Yep, I got you loud and clear.
How we doing, sir?
And yes, it is. The Matt Man Chad actually come from a dirt racer who I can say that he put me in his phone as Matt Man Chad, and that's how it stuck.
Heck yeah. So sorry that first part took so long. We're not gonna cut you short. We're gonna let you talk.
Well, that's cool. Not a problem.
First question, tell us about yourself. How'd you get involved with graphic design and making mats for race teams? And who is your first NASCAR client?
Chad Harrington, I've probably been designing since I was in college back in 1995. I've been designing mats since I started to work for one company in 2003. I've done design work for other companies and other various things. And it was around 2003, 2004 when I actually met Jeremy, and he was in a dirt late model and I was at a flagman. I was the flagman at East Alabama Motor Speedway for their most prestigious event, the National 100. That's the first time me and Jeremy Clements actually met. And I would say Jeremy was also our first client when I worked for a different company before they sold the business. And then I started my own so that I could continue to offer the mats to the racing community because I've got so many out there for dirt late models and sprint cars and all your local track guys running your lower classes like the 604 crates and the 602 late models and that sort of thing.
I love it.
And,
I'm sorry, keep going.
and just to add to the baby thing, I know Jeremy just had his. I became a granddad in August, and we all know it is the woman's part on that that says if he's going to have more, you know, or not. My daughter told her husband, "That's it. That's the only one. We're not having no more." she said, "She said you ain't doing nothing. You ain't touching me till you go get fixed."
That
So,
Chad, that's smart. That as an only child, trust me, they won't be lonely. They'll be good. As long as they have friends, they'll be okay.
yeah, and that way too, they get spoiled rotten by grandparents like myself and my wife. So,
Yeah. Crap. I prefer the term loved, but yep, spoiled probably lines up a little better, but I always still say I was loved.
I can see that.
It happens. You do. But yeah, I mean, I know you kind of went into that. So how'd you get involved? I know you kind of like skimmed the
Well,
surface. So how'd you get involved with JCR?
My parent company at the time was Milliken, who is 4 miles away from Jeremy's shop, really. So the first time I rode by his shop, the next time I stopped by and checked out the Clements House of Power. And then after that, I talked them into letting me pursue the fact of let's go after these race teams, our sales guys. We've only got so many. I'm the guy that's got the end for all of this. So they agreed, and they agreed to allow me to provide Jeremy with product. And we started putting mats behind the hauler, in the hauler, and with the sponsors' names and everything on the mat. So we started that in February of 2019. I saw him in Atlanta, and he had these plain black mats behind it. I said, Jeremy, you got to let me help you out with this. I mean, we got to get you some better looking stuff. And ever since, he went to a meeting. I picked him up. We went to Milliken. We got all that worked out, and after that, it's just been gangbusters ever since. I've been a huge supporter of his since I met him at the dirt track, of course, just because it's real funny to say is he was looking at his dad in turns 3 and 4 and hadn't even got to the start zone yet, wasn't even looking for the green light or the green flag, and was looking at his dad standing on the inside there, and Tony just motioned to him like that, and he took off, and he's still looking at his dad. He just blisters him to turn 1 and won his heat race that night. So he started up front for the feature the next day. So that's how all of that got started and how we got met. And being that close to my home parent company, I didn't see no reason why we couldn't do something cool like that.
So, Chad, walk us through the design process of designing a race mat for a team from start to finish. For example, last week we spoke with Michael Michelli, who designs a bunch of stuff for Jeremy's liveries on his car. Do you work with him with some of the design stuff, or do you design everything yourself for the mats?
A lot of times I will get the vector files for all the sponsors, and right now, unless it's a new sponsor, I've pretty much got them. So it's easy to lay out in the format of the size of the mats that we would do, say 4x6 to go behind the hauler for the race weekend that certain sponsor was doing. Sometimes, like, let's use the Halloween car for an example. You know, I get this artwork a couple of months ahead of time, so I get to start working on what I want to put together as the mat that goes out for it. And I get free reign to do whatever it is I do, and Jeremy will send me some of Maselli's artwork for me to use for that purpose. Now, like what gets put in the hauler, I'll design that completely by scratch and just update it to make it look cool as all get out. That is neutral for all sponsors that could be involved. Other than that, I'm doing some other stuff for him, not just mats, but I'm starting to work on some shirt designs and stuff like that so that we can offer better merchandise for all of Jeremy's fans for 2024 as well. And some of that will be used as Maselli's artwork will get sent to me so that I can populate the car and make it look like what he's going to have on track for certain weekends. And I'm hoping to do that so we can sell a bunch of Halloween mats, not mats, but shirts, Halloween themed shirts, even though that it's going to be a little bit after Halloween this year. And they said they might do the turkey theme.
Yeah, we know those Spartan Waste boys like to just tie one on and they'll buy all the merch you got, right?
Yep. And you can't forget old Ray Stevens either for flying for him. He is a gung-ho guy too that would.
He's a merch guy.
He is a merch guy, and I think he cannot wait to have that as a product offering to where I can help him design so much better, more shirts for him to offer, not just the people that work with him that he brings to the races, but everybody else as well. I mean, you got to think all of these big teams are making couple of $100,000 a weekend, possibly, or within a month of shirt sales and merchandise sales, right? Jeremy's got a long website. We need to get him some lined pockets too, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. And by the way, good plug for Flyform, right? Right, Rob? So thank you, Ray. I did get your package. Rob did send it to me. I will wear the merch next week. Haven't been over to my dad's house to pick it up yet.
We gotta wear it next, but we all gotta wear it next week.
Yep.
The man's gonna be on.
Yep. Well, I'll even gloss over the rear end here with Flyform.
We're gonna have to match our shoes too.
Yeah, I can't afford his shoe game.
No, we're
I
gonna
do
No.
not.
We're gonna
He's in
talk
a
about
different tax bracket with a shoe
No.
game.
We're gonna hands down talk about his shoe budget because I have a feeling that shoe budget is way more than what we think.
I'm pretty sure he matches shoes for every race somehow.
It's what he said.
Yeah. I literally own one pair of tennis shoes.
Now I own about 7, but that he's got like I think he has what Adrian has. I think he has about 50.
So
Yeah.
now you're comparing a woman to a man. That's two different realms, brother.
I'm,
Two different
Chad,
realms.
sorry, but her
Well-
shoe she has a shoe game, and
So
he
so
has a shoe game.
Chad, how solid is your shoe game? Like how many pairs of tennis shoes do you have?
Well, I haven't bought some for a couple of years because the last time I bought shoes, I found out that I love the way the No Bull shoes feel, right? So my wife surprised me with 2 pair that she picked out, one of which is a brown camo, which is cool as all get out, and one is a black reflective, meaning the whole shoe glows when you're walking out in the morning or close to dusk and some headlights hit it. I mean, it's like your feet just explode with light. And I got some running pairs that are mesh that I wear to the racetrack with my black pants so that if needed, I can act like part of the crew when I'm at the races, of course, you know. So I'm a big fan of black shoes and the black pants and whatnot. So I'm not quite as colorful. Mine are definitely more uniquely suited to being a bigger guy, move and feet comfort.
So if I counted right, Chad, you have 3 pairs.
No, I actually have 6
6. Okay. But like
of No Bull that's just comfortable as all get out. Y'all need to try them if you ain't had them.
I like
I
my
said,
Brooks
I have
and-
one.
I like my Brooks and my Nike. That's about as far as I'm going.
Oh shoot, those Nikes don't even fit. I got a couple of pair of Nikes, and they don't fit like the No Bull.
He's a
so I
wide.
had to swap
Chad's
over.
a wide. You got wide feet, Chad?
No,
Oh,
I mean they're just
Skinny feet?
better snug, and they just fit, and they just form around your feet because they're mesh and soft. It's not like there's something to give or anything like that you're trying to put your foot in.
fair.
So Chad, I understand you're a flagman at Dixie and Rome Speedway in Georgia.
Yes, sir.
I also understand that you're race director at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Legends and Bandolero series during the summer.
I am.
Jesus.
I am not one that sits still. And then with the grandkid, it's like, what am I going to do now? Because they just added a whole nother level to my plate, right? It's just like that guy that spins 15 plates at a time and then adds another 30, and he has them all spinning at the same time. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but that's what's going to happen. Dixie and Rome don't race every week, which is a good thing. They're owned by the same family. So if Rome races, Dixie probably won't be racing that weekend. They get their first World of Outlaw late model race in October, which I'm looking forward to. Of course, Dixie, it's the track in Georgia for so many years, right? They actually, if anybody ever remembers back when the Hava-Tampa UDTRA Dirt Late Model Series first got TV time, you know, that Dixie Shootout was the race. It was the one everybody talked of. It's also the racetrack that Jody Ridley and Bill Elliott and all of those older cats grew up on, right? So it is the track. And to be honored enough to be flagging there is one of those moments of like, wow. Now, Atlanta Motor Speedway is a completely different story. You think you get to go and have fun at the races, and then you still have to work a day because there's always a Legends and Bandolero race the same weekend of a Cup weekend.
So which one do you like more better? You like the flagging side of it? Do you like the race director side of it?
The older I get, the more I like the race director side because it's in the air conditioning. Let's be truthful, right?
Comfortable shoes and air conditioning.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You
Sounds
can
like a
tell when you
win-win
got
to
a
me.
big,
Yeah.
you can tell when you got a big guy that don't like to expend a lot of energy. Um, but cool thing is the flagging part. I've done it since I was 5. My uncle taught me how to do that at an old go-kart track when he was the flagman there, and I actually flagged the kids racing on little Suzuki 50s and Honda 50s when they would race around the track, and they were anywhere between the ages of 5 and 8. So I got to flag those every Friday night and grew up that way. So, it's not often that you see even 1 out of 1,000 kids in the stands want to be a flagman. But because my uncle was, after he cut his racing career short and became an official, I wanted to be the flagman like he did because that's how he took his time with me. Now, my cousin, his son, he went in the driver's side. So it's kind of ironically funny that even he still races some today. And I was race directing at Sonoa, and I've even had to black flag my own cousin for spinning out one too many times. So it's one of those ironic moments.
I'm sure that makes it interesting at the holidays.
Not really. We
He doesn't
get good
come over
laughs
anymore.
about it. We get good laughs about it and all of that good stuff. So, and there's a lot of times he said, "Man, I knew I'd spun out twice. I just went ahead and pulled in. I didn't want to hear you say my name or number on the radio for the receiver, since they got that good one-way communication now."
So Chad, the question I have for you is if there's anyone out there looking for a way to get a hold of you about having a mat done or having some graphic design done, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, we do have our own website, mattmandesigns.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Send us messages that way through those apps. And if you need to, by all means, use the contact us page on the website, and you'll usually get something back unless you are sending an email at 1 in the morning my time, probably within an hour from when you send something. So we're pretty responsive to messages and emails as quickly as possible. And this off season, of course, it's my busy season. So we've been blessed to be so busy right now with design work and orders and getting people ready for the beginning of the year. I'm still working on stuff for Jeremy's hauler so that I can get it squared away so that we can get it revamped for the 2024 season with all of the sponsors that he's gained over the last 2 years.
Very cool.
Awesome. And Bobby, how are we looking on time here, brother?
Yeah. We can go a little bit longer if not.
Cool. So Chad, I have 2 questions. One, so you talked about flagging since you're 5,
Yep.
right? So did you ever get to race?
I've raced go-karts once, and I started like 17th and finished 3rd in a 15-lap feature. And my wife looked at me oddly funny when I told her I was going to go do that. And it only cost me probably $60 to race my cousin's go-kart at the time. But the bad part was, really didn't have any extra money for me to race. My mom and dad didn't either. So my thought was at that point, it would be better to go to the racetrack and earn money than to spend money. Thus, the flagging aspect side and race directing side.
Absolutely. And then my other question was, favorite NASCAR driver of all time?
Ooh.
Who is your guy? Who is your guy? Tell me Tim Richmond.
Nah,
I like Tim Richmond, but he is definitely not my all-time guy. My all-time guy, and unfortunately, I guess you would say we really never got to see him end his career the way he wanted to because that was Bobby Allison.
Okay.
Thanks to the wreck at Pocono, of course. but there are some iconic guys that since I've been going to NASCAR races since 76 through the present, right? I've been to over 100 different ones. I can say I've seen some of the best hit that victory lane, and I've got to see them from 76 to the present. I've seen Yarborough, Bobby and Donnie Allison, Waltrip, Yarborough, and then you start going through and Earnhardt so many times, and then never got to see Tim Richmond in person win. But boy, would he put on a show at whatever track he was at. And one of my all-time favorite races has got to be some of the ones that were in Atlanta in the 80s, back when the old notchback Monte Carlos.
Yeah.
I was covering a race, and me and my wife had this discussion the other night. Neil Bonnet won at Atlanta every November on every odd year for 5 years, 79, 81, and 83. Well, I also got to see Benny Parson win his last race ever at Atlanta in 1984. And he was racing, and they were swapping the lead. It was him, Yarborough, Earnhardt, Bobby Allison. I mean, there was about 5 or 6 guys that were running together, and to see them slide through the corners. And I've seen 3 out of 4 Morgan Shepherd wins, for goodness sakes, because 3 of them happened at Atlanta, right? He won in the old 47 car for Rick Beebe, and then he won in the 15. And then later on, he outdueled Jeff Gordon in the snow blizzard gate of having to wait a week to go back for that one in 1993 for the Wood Brothers. I mean, it's just like I've got to see some of the greatest of the greats. Not many people can say that.
No, and that's why, again, someone from the North, right? I have such appreciation for those types of stories, because if you go back, right, 70s and 80s, guys weren't coming up to Wisconsin, right? So no one up here has those kinds of stories like you do, where you're like, I was 2 feet from victory lane watching Dale Earnhardt win a race, watching Waltrip win a race, watching all these historic dudes, right, that I wish NASCAR still was as I'm 40, but I feel like I'm younger. But I miss those days. I'd give anything to go back and watch a NASCAR race in person in Atlanta in 1990 or 87, right? That was, now we've got
I'm with you, Justin. I agree the same.
Now we've got one lug nut. Chad, thoughts on that? Just kidding. Sorry, we can't go down there.
Well, I mean, technically, there really isn't no worry about it. I mean, hell, I've watched them put one lug nut on Indy cars my entire life. What's the difference between putting it on a NASCAR car and the other?
Yeah, because everybody likes 5 lug better than 1 lug.
Wow,
Actually,
Chad, I won't lie. I'm blown away that that's your take on it. Did Bobby pay you?
No, he did not. That's the bad part. I just found out that I lost money.
I just figured Bobby paid you to say that.
He lost
No,
money.
I mean,
love it.
If you've been around as long as I have, whether it's NASCAR, IndyCar, dirt track, or anything, man, I can remember when the dirt late models, their tires stuck out from under the body and they could not get close to one another because they would wheel hop on one another, right? Not only that, but they used the Pro shocks and AFCO shocks. They didn't have these gas shocks. I mean, these jokers would go in there and bounce, and I mean, the cars, they'd take a set in the corner and they would just do this through the corner while they were at speed. I've seen so many things change, and now when they go in the corner on dirt now, they're just nosed over, just driving off that right front, and the left rear is what's pushing them through the corner. It's not the right rear. I mean, you go back and look, and you see AJ Foyt in these open cockpit midgets and sprints. What do you think about those once they put the roll cage around them? I mean, I've seen it from one side to the other. What's the difference? I mean, the show is how the drivers are. I mean,
Wait,
if
Chad, we're gonna compare one lug to roll cages on midgets?
I mean, look at the changes, right? It's just the changes of what I've been able to see.
Oh
Is
yeah,
the
you've seen a
changes
lot.
great? Is the changes great? Is the changes bad? Is it good? Does it make the show? The one lug nut don't make the show. It's the guys behind the wheels. And if they ain't got the balls to go fast, does it matter if it's one lug, five lugs, or
Amen.
10?
There you go. All right. Hey,
All right, so Chad, Lynn Harrington said, "Oh my God, you're that old guy."
Yeah, that's the wife and CEO of Matt Man Designs for you right there.
oh, she's chiming in.
She chimed in
Yep.
on Twitter and she goes,
She goes,
"Oh my
"I'm
God, you're the old
upstairs."
guy."
Oh, she is. I sent her the link so she could watch it and laugh. And by God, she's laughing all right.
All right, well, Chad, like I said, we'll have you on again for another episode, and we'll talk more about everything. I know there's a lot more that you want to talk about, and we'll get you in for another round.
Well, if you've got a moment, I would like to share a screen grab of
Yeah.
for what I've actually done for as a sneak preview for the hauler match this year.
Heck yeah. You're better
That'd
at
be awesome.
Chad is way better at computers than I am. I don't even know what a screen grab is.
That's
But
when you
you've
grab your
got-
screen like this.
Yeah, you just but the host has disabled my participant screen sharing, so he's got to able it so that I can do so.
I apologize, Chad. Where are you based out of?
LaGrange, Georgia.
Okay.
Basically, I'm 65 miles south of the Atlanta airport, right where 85 crosses into Alabama at Lake West Point. And truth be told, you got the Auburn Tigers that are only 30 minutes away. But the greatest part about Auburn Tigers is they host a lot better college teams at their facility that I can go to.
Are you a Georgia Bulldog fan?
I am a Georgia Bulldog football fan, and I've been a Kentucky basketball fan since meeting Rick Pitino back in the early 90s. So,
Okay.
I mean, I will turn the wall a little bit, but it's got that blue wall back there on the back. It has got a UK painted on it from where it is a UK complete wall.
You
I was
should be
able
able
to
to get
paint
in
one
now.
wall. All right, so let's try to do the screen, and we will share that.
Oh, cool.
Well, that's very
wow.
cool.
That's awesome.
That's very neat.
So we get to go back forth, and I know the workforce has already changed their logo and whatnot, but hopefully we can swap a few of these out and get everything squared away. And I do the banners and everything that go on the back of the pit box in front of those as well for Jeremy too. So, but this is stepping up the game of what's going inside the hauler, and hopefully with the colors, we'll see a lot better standoff sponsorship promotions for the major sponsors that put forth all the money to help Jeremy grow for 2024.
That's awesome. For those of you just listening at home, we got Fox Sports, Spartanburg, Flatform, Concrete Structures, Convenience One-Stop Store, First Pacific Funding, All South Electric, Matt Man Designs, Booze Pops, Frozen Cocktails. Was that say? Does that say
Elite Towing,
Absolute?
Z-Max,
Yeah,
Gale,
absolute
Kevin Whitaker,
absolute
Chevrolet,
wall and ceiling.
Barton Waste, Alliance Driveway Solutions, Impel Union Truck and Trailer Sales, Wings, etc., Firewall Signs, Inc., The Workforce, C&K Construction, The Racing Warehouse. Love those guys. Whitetail Smokeless. Love Rob, the man. And once again, Matt Man Designs.
and
I mean,
love
I'm
that
giving
Wings,
them to him.
etc.
The
Giving
only
them
thing
to
you're
him
missing
free,
is our
so-
logo. I think you got to slide that in there somewhere.
Yeah, bad news observation, Rob. We can't afford that mat.
I was gonna say I can't afford that, brother.
No, I know. I was just joking.
Well,
We'd have to start a GoFundMe 3 years ago.
it's what we need. Is what we need to do is get that version of the Area 51 podcast logo, and we get each one of you guys a good price and a cheap price on one to make sure that you've got a Area 51 podcast mat in your room for you.
I'm already getting them made up. 4x6 is what we're doing, boys.
Awesome.
I
Yep.
already sent them over the design.
Sweet.
Awesome. Well,
You weren't supposed to leak it yet, Chad.
I didn't know you was taking care of that for everybody.
Cool.
I'm sorry.
Venmo Scott money tomorrow again.
No.
I'm not taking care of it all, but I'm trying to set it up so that way everybody knew.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I was gonna wait till we had a rough draft so I could have shared it.
Well, I thought we were doing one or two things for you for your room by itself. I didn't know anything about the other one for everybody else. You didn't tell me about that part.
Yeah, Chad, unless you really like bourbon, I operate on trades. So, Chad, if you like bourbon, we can figure something out pretty easy.
Well, how about I have already done that with one, and I'm about to do it for a second mat, so that I've got both a Kurt Busch and a Kurt Busch signed Woodford Reserve bottle from Carnes, because I have an actual piece of the asphalt from Atlanta Motor Speedway of the start finish line from when they did the repave. And you got to remember, Kyle won Saturday, Kurt won Sunday, and that way I get both of them signed on that one piece of asphalt, and there we go. We got
Very
us a
cool.
shelf that displays 2 signed bottles of bourbon and the finish line with both signatures of the last 2 winners on that old service.
Hey Justin.
Yep.
So Lynn just posted in the chat and said, "Great sponsor plug. Hey, I like bourbon."
We'll start a mailing list. We'll start a mailing list. Maybe it'll come, maybe it won't.
Yeah, but if you do need some Driftless Glen matting to go in the facility, we might be able to work one of those out and everything, so that you got some good looking stuff for people to wipe their feet on, so that you keep your floors clean.
Oh God, see, Chad, this is where it goes out of my purview, right? So that unfortunately falls under our restaurant that we have there, and we don't have any mats in the distillery. They'd get a little soaky, but yeah, damn, it's out of my purview, Chad. But I could always send you a bottle that you could actually drink and not just put on display. Just
Actually,
saying.
the wife would be the one drinking that. I don't actually drink anymore, so
God, that's
unfortunately.
I'd be so much more productive.
Well, she's the one that tells me I've got to make and show her the money, so that's what I'm doing. I don't have time for it.
I have the opposite problem.
All right, Chad. Well, we thank you for coming on to the show tonight, and I'll catch up with you during the season, and we'll get you back in here.
All right, well, that'll be perfect, and let me know if we can have some better, harder questions when we've got more time. I'll be glad to answer from any of those angles of all the crazy jobs that I got, and just like I shared the designs for the hauler possibilities, we can look at a lot more other stuff and go from there as well. And next time I will actually set the camera up in the diecast room, so that you get a shot of the diecast room instead of the office space of the basement.
All right, greatly appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Thank
Thank you,
y'all.
Chad.
Thanks,
Nice to
Chad.
meet all of you guys, and
Nice to meet you
talk with
too.
you again, Bobby.
Thanks, Jen.
You're welcome. See y'all later.
Yep. Take care.
Bye, bud.
All right, guys. Well, episode 5 is in the books. Next week we got, which is January 16th, we have the one, the only, Ray Stevens from Flying Fork.
Tell me you gave him the whole freaking.
He has the whole entire
Yeah,
hour and a
there's
half.
no way we're getting out of like if we had someone following Ray, be like, Quick, Bobby, text the guy behind Ray and tell him this isn't going to work out this week.
No, so Matt Man was supposed to be behind Ray, and I moved Chad up to with Tig, so that way Ray could have the whole entire show.
Yeah, he's going to need the whole time
He's probably gonna we're probably gonna have another hour and 45 minutes
with just Ray.
with just Ray.
And we're gonna have to give him permission to show photos too, because I'm sure he's gonna have
Oh, absolutely.
to show photos to explain different things.
Absolutely.
So for those of you all listening, you are not going to want to miss next week.
No,
next
week's gonna
next
be
week will
awesome.
be high energy, high excitement, high enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
It'll be amazing.
Lots of good stories from behind the scenes. Crazy stuff.
Shoes, stories,
Diving
Shoes,
people's chest.
sunglasses.
Twin Peaks adventures,
Yeah, I want to hear about the Twin Peaks.
RJ Rocker's adventures.
God.
All right. So with that being said, I want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors: Spartan Waste, First Pacific Funding, Whitetail Smokeless, Runner's Roost, Driftless Glen, Elite Towing, Fly Inform Concrete Structures, Beach Ridge Barbershop. And guys, I want to let everybody know this. Scott and I put in a lot of work over the weekend with the help of Rob and Justin also. And we are now officially on Podbean. So if you are looking to listen to the show instead of watching it on YouTube, hop over to Podbean, Area 51 Racing Podcast. All 4 episodes are up live or up right now. This one should be up, I'd say, by tomorrow, maybe. And you guys can listen to it in your cars instead of listening like this, where you're watching us talk, and it'll be just on your radios from here on out. So we want to thank you guys for everything. And Justin, Rob, Scott, thank you guys for everything. And we'll see you guys next week.
And congrats again, Jeremy and Court.
Yep.
Yep, congrats.
Congratulations.
Congrats. And apparently I'm the only old fart that still watches YouTube in his car. So like, am I the only one that does that?
You have a driver?
I watch it on Podbean, and I love
Dude,
it.
I pay for YouTube Premium like an old fart. My girlfriend makes fun of me all the time. She's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "What?" She goes, "You have Spotify." I go, "What the hell is Spotify?" I like
So-
YouTube Premium, no commercials.
Hey,
Oh,
so
by the
Chad-
way, the Podbean is an app.
yes.
So you can go to the Play Store if you have Android or Apple phone, the download Play Store, download the app, it's free. And then search for the Area 51 Racing Podcast on there. And we're on there.
Good point,
And-
Rob. That
And
was amazing.
Chad
Thanks.
just put Ray will be off the chain next week. So with that
Yeah,
being
every-
said, y'all have a good night, and we will see you guys.